Ukraine may not be the initial country that comes to mind and considering the next European economic success story. This is due to the fact that Ukraine has been forced to struggle for its existence following an attack by Russia, resulting in significant damage to its economy. Furthermore, even before the war began, Ukraine was already one of the poorest countries in Europe. However, despite all of those factors, it is highly likely that Ukraine will undergo a significant economic upturn once the conflict concludes, or possibly even before then. What are the reasons behind this prediction? Let's delve into them. Firstly, there exists a strong historical precedent that supports this notion. Numerous instances can be found where countries, after losing millions of lives, depleting all available financial resources, and witnessing the complete destruction of their infrastructures due to their participation in wars, eventually experienced remarkable economic growth within a few years. In fact, this growth often propelled them to a level of prosperity far surpassing their initial state. 1. Ultimately, this is the scenario involving the primary instigators of the Second World War. Germany and Japan each suffered a loss of 5 to 10% of their population prior to the war, and by its conclusion, they were conquered and occupied, with their industries and economies nearly decimated. Surprisingly, within less than a decade, they managed to recover to their pre-war GDP levels, and subsequently underwent economic miracles in the ensuing decades. Following the Korean War in the 1950s, South Korea found itself in a situation similar to that of Ukraine. Despite being a relatively poor agrarian nation that suffered significant losses and destruction during the conflict, South Korea managed to achieve an economic miracle shortly after the war. This led to its transformation into a major technological and industrial hub. It is important to note that not every post-war scenario follows this trajectory, as there are numerous countries that have faced devastating wars without experiencing the same level of growth and recovery. Nevertheless, those who do tend to share a commonality. Their rehabilitation holds significance not only for themselves but also for another party. In the instances of Western Europe, Japan, and South Korea, this party happened to be the United States. Following both World War II and the Korean War, it was crucial for the US that these nations would transform into and continue as allies of the US, and ideally, as stable and flourishing democracies. 1. Ensuring economic growth and improved quality of life is crucial, and the United States played a significant role in achieving this by providing assistance such as loans, grants, and support in removing trade barriers. By encouraging private investment for post-war recovery, countries with war-torn infrastructures can experience guaranteed economic growth. Ukraine, like other historical examples, will need to focus on economic recovery post-war, as it will have a significant impact beyond its borders. This time, it is possible that the European Union could assume the responsibility of providing the necessary funds instead of the United States. The EU, being the largest economic bloc globally and the second largest economy after the United States, has the potential to finance the complete reconstruction of Ukraine multiple times over. While Ukraine may not be a priority for the United States, it is of utmost importance for Europe. Europe has already invested a significant amount of financial and political capital in Ukraine, and the survival and future success of the country are crucial for European security. Europe has a vested interest in ensuring that Ukraine maintains a robust democracy and a formidable military. The most effective approach to achieve this is by assisting Ukraine in developing a strong economy. Europe is highly likely to allocate substantial funds towards this objective, regardless of whether it involves EU membership or not. Regardless of the path chosen, Ukraine can expect a consistent influx of financial support in the form of loans and investments, particularly once the intensity of the conflict diminishes. Before delving into the second reason, I would like to discuss the sponsored partner of this video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform that links individuals with licensed therapists who are equipped to provide support and guidance for mental health concerns. In today's world, where we are bombarded with a constant stream of information, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. Managing this stress, especially with the barrage of negative news, is crucial. Personally, I believe therapy can be a valuable resource in coping with these challenges. BetterHelp boasts a vast network of over 30,000 therapists, all of whom conduct sessions exclusively through remote means such as phone calls, video calls, or messaging, allowing you to choose the method that suits your preferences. Furthermore, should you ever feel the need to switch therapists, you have the freedom to do so at any given moment and for any reason. Therefore, if you believe therapy could be beneficial for you, it may be worth considering giving BetterHelp a try. Ukraine's unexpectedly optimistic economic prospects can be attributed to a second reason, which is the anticipated transformation in the economy structure after the conclusion of the war. However, comprehending this requires an understanding of the country's economic landscape. Prior to the Russian invasion in 2022 and even before the initial invasion in 2014, Ukraine was already one of the most impoverished nations in Europe, performing significantly worse than other countries that were previously part of the Eastern Bloc. The question then arises, what were the underlying factors contributing to this situation? 1. Up until 1991, Ukraine was a constituent part of the Soviet Union. During that period, its economy primarily revolved around heavy industry, manufacturing a wide range of products such as machinery, military equipment, and electronics. However, the majority of these goods were exported solely to other regions within the USSR. Following the dissolution of the Soviet Union and Ukraine's subsequent independence, the country found itself well positioned for success due to its existing industrial infrastructure. 1. However, the decrease in demand from the countries that previously imported those products, now that they were independent and could purchase goods from any source, led to a significant decline. Ukrainian companies and products, unaccustomed to the concept of a free global market, found themselves unable to keep up with the competition. Consequently, they faced challenges in seeking alternative buyers. Furthermore, many of these industries were either acquired by oligarchs or continued to operate as state-owned enterprises. Unfortunately, in either scenario, they were plagued by ineffective management and rampant corruption. Consequently, these deteriorating sectors of Ukraine's industry gradually declined over time. Moreover, Ukraine struggled to establish alternative industries or attract foreign investments to compensate for this setback. As a result, while numerous post-communist nations witnessed rapid economic growth, Ukraine lagged far behind. Despite having a comparable economy to Poland in 1991, the Polish GDP became more than 4 times larger than Ukraine's after 30 years. However, surprisingly, the war could potentially serve as a turning point, propelling the Ukrainian economy towards a new era with a significant boost. It is already evident that the country will likely emerge from the war as one of the world's leading weapons manufacturers. 1. Prior to the conflict, Ukraine possessed a significant military-industrial base inherited from the Soviet Union, primarily focused on producing updated Soviet-era equipment. However, this industry, like other sectors in Ukraine, was not considered cutting-edge or globally competitive. Following the invasion, there was a surge in activity within the Ukrainian military industry. With a pressing demand for equipment, the government prioritized the expansion of domestic military production, even declaring ambitions for Ukraine to be the leading supplier of democratic weaponry worldwide. Subsequently, the industry has experienced remarkable growth. Ukraine has been attracting investments and partnership proposals from major players in the defense industries of America and Europe. This has led to the establishment of new factories and the expansion of existing production lines for ammunition and equipment. Furthermore, Ukraine has successfully developed, introduced, and integrated innovative products that have the potential to revolutionize the industry. 1. Ukraine is rapidly emerging as a key player in the global military drone market, producing a variety of drones ranging from naval to long-range ones. The country has set an ambitious goal of manufacturing over 1 million drones by 2024. Despite the grim reality of prolonged conflict, the Ukrainian defense industry is poised for significant growth as long as it continues to receive support from its allies. Even post-war, the industry is likely to thrive due to the necessity of maintaining a substantial military budget. With battle-tested military products, Ukraine is expected to successfully export its technology worldwide. The defense sector has evolved beyond traditional weaponry, focusing more on cutting-edge technology. This high-tech industry demands skilled engineers and IT specialists, often leading to the development of robust technology sectors. It is not uncommon for successful tech companies to emerge in regions with strong military ties. Silicon Valley in California owes its existence to the military-industrial complex that initially created it. Similarly, the Israeli startup phenomenon was made possible by the demand for talent emerging from the military. Ukraine, on the other hand, does not possess the ideal conditions to replicate such success. Due to its status as an industrial hub of the USSR, Ukraine has historically boasted a robust education system in STEM fields, producing a significant number of engineers, software developers, and IT specialists. Even prior to the Russian invasion, Ukraine had a modest yet thriving IT sector. Despite the ongoing conflict, some Ukrainian startups managed to persevere and continue their product development. Some even shifted their focus towards military technology, contributing to the sector's resilience. Remarkably, in 2022, a year marked by a 24% contraction in the Ukrainian economy due to the invasion, the IT sector experienced a growth of 16%. This indicates the sector's resilience and potential. With a flourishing military industry, a growing tech sector, and a pool of skilled professionals, there is a strong possibility that the Ukrainian economy will undergo a transformation resembling Israel's startup miracle in the aftermath of the war. Additionally, there is a third reason to consider. One aspect that is seldom discussed and often disregarded, yet possesses the potential for a significant impact, is the Ukrainian state's inefficiency, bureaucracy, and pervasive corruption. These factors greatly hindered the establishment and growth of new businesses, dissuaded potential investors from entering Ukraine, and placed an immense strain on the country's economy. Despite Ukraine's prolonged efforts to address these issues, rectifying them has proven to be exceedingly challenging. However, as is often the case, times of war instill a sense of urgency that peacetime lacks. The drive to survive serves as a powerful motivation to tackle previously insurmountable problems. Even amidst the ongoing conflict, Ukraine has dedicated substantial efforts to combat corruption, resulting in a notable improvement of 12 places in the Corruption Perception Index, albeit still ranking at 104th place. Furthermore, the country has intensified its commitment to becoming a digital-first state, exemplified by the launch of an application facilitating all interactions between citizens and the government, a feat that many developed nations have yet to achieve. At present, it is important to acknowledge that all of these prospects are still distant and may not be as straightforward as they appear. However, there is a strong likelihood that certain aspects mentioned earlier will materialize. With effective reforms, global assistance, and the development of new economic sectors, Ukraine, once it emerges from the conflict, has the potential to experience an economic boom surpassing that of the rest of Europe.